A lot of people have been contacting me, telling me that, you know, they're planning on heading to DC, or that they're getting messages that they're closing DC or something like that. So Joe Biden's inauguration is going to be a huge clampdown, it seems. What is this place? All these embassies. I don't know what that is. Maybe Italy? Why is it all the way up here? Not Italy. Bulgaria. Wow, that's really sealed up. I guess they know something. Huh. Very strange. Anyway, well, I'm heading home from my, look at that, Phoenix food delivery. You know, again, another one of the roles of these walking around videos is to just observe what's going on, check out the status of New York, maybe, you know, see a little piece of information that we otherwise would not have seen, learn something that we otherwise wouldn't know. And, you know, some of those videos I created back at the beginning of the, back in March or whatever, like with the cops hanging out. Some of these videos maybe don't make sense until months later. Oh yeah, did people see that Trump's doctor died? That was one of, I'm not laughing that the guy died, but, you know, he was, I forget the doctor's name, but he was one of the, you know, I made a video about him. It was one of the first videos I made for Crowdsource the Truth, was trying to figure out what was going on with Trump's doctor. Because it's funny, it goes back to Michael Moore, who I was just talking about earlier. You know, the filmmaker Michael Moore, he made that movie like Hillary Lovers in Trumpland or something like that, or Trumpland. I think my documentary was called Hillary Voters in Trumpland. His movie was just Trumpland. And it was about, you know, Trump. This was before the election, so it was before Trump had won, and I went over there and I was interviewing people waiting in line to see the movie. And one guy mentioned something about Trump's doctor. It was kind of cool. It was, if you watch it now, it's a little bit of a kind of shows you the direction that Crowdsource the Truth was going to go in, where, you know, somebody at that movie premiere who I interviewed raises a point that I didn't previously know about, and it results in, you know, an investigation, going to check out the doctor and everything. Just basically found out that the doctor was kind of a strange guy and not much more than that. But just walking around now, crossing Park. This is a bit of a wide crossing here. Hopefully I can make it before the light changes. Let's see if these guys don't run me over. But I'm going to try to head all the way west here over to the Javits Center. We'll get an idea what's going on there. That's become the, I guess, the Vaccination Center for New York. It's weird. I don't know why they chose the Javits Center for all this stuff. Remember, the Army was controlling the Javits Center the last time I was over there. I guess they still are. I might prefer a hospital to give out vaccines versus the Army, but you know, people will think what they think about that. I guess the Army can give people shots. It's nice and warm over here, although everybody is wearing a jacket at dinner. Oh, this is a French Culinary Institute, I guess. This song will probably monetize the video. So is tonight's Joe Biden speech, is this going to be his, you know, welcome to the dark winter kind of thing? It does feel like it's getting colder now. It's not really cold. I mean, obviously I'm wearing a pretty light jacket. Got a fleece under here, but people are out just kind of like no jackets, hanging out, doing whatever. It is still unseasonably warm today, as there's very few people on the streets in New York City. And here's, more traffic cops crapping around, doing nothing. Traffic cops never do anything, give out tickets. So they're raising money for the city, I guess. Let's see. Wow, talk about being sealed in. That's crazy. How could that be pleasant? It's got to be like a little sweat box in there. So there's garden dining and sweat box dining. That's nice. Wow, look at that. I'm sure Charles knows what that is. M, the Metropolitan Club. He probably even said that before. Fancy. So I'm approaching Central Park over there. Haven't been in Central Park in a while. It's a pretty nice day. I guess they still have the, I thought somebody was trying to get them to stop doing the horse-drawn carriages because it's not nice to the horses. I never use those. I'm allergic to horses. They make me sneeze. I would have made a crappy cowboy. Could you imagine that? The cowboy that's allergic to horses. I guess it just wouldn't happen. Get over it or get dead. It smells like horse crap right over here, I can tell you that. Let's just go down into Central Park for a little sojourn and then I'll pop up on the other side. I can't imagine there's too much of anything going on in here right now. Dismount and walk wheeled vehicles. Super quiet in here today. Oh yeah, so the other thing that de Blasio mentioned, don't feed raccoons, I guess that is. But de Blasio has decided because before there's even a trial or a proper investigation of evidence, he's going to find Trump guilty, and New York City is terminating all business contracts with the Trump Organization. I don't know if people know this, but Donald Trump helped restore Woolman Rink, the ice skating rink here in Central Park. It was dilapidated for years, and as I understand it, Trump just said, well, that's ridiculous, we're going to fix this thing. He fixed it up, and now people get to enjoy ice skating, but de Blasio says, nope. No more Trump stuff. So I guess maybe that ice skating rink will fall into disrepair again, like the rest of New York City has under Bill de Blasio's guidance, or we'll get a new communist in there with Andrew Yang. I suppose it's fairly likely he might win. I mean, people have heard of him, and it doesn't really seem to have to do with how capable or confident you are. Competent. Ice Rescue Ladder Station. Thin ice. This is actually very appropriate for right now. Danger, thin ice. The whole entire situation could be described that way. So normally during the summertime you can ride paddle boats in here, this little Central Park pond or whatever it is. And it's a nice, you know, little, no fishing in there. I don't imagine there's too many fish. I guess there are, but I don't think you'd want to eat them. But it's a nice, it's kind of a good date thing, you know, just a way to spend a summer afternoon paddle boating in the pond. You hear the birds chirping, that's nice. Little greenery down here. I mean, considering I've been locked in the apartment for so long, it's nice to just hear birds chirping. And at least pretend that you're in the wilderness. All right, so continue heading west here. Yeah, so I mean, you know, under Andrew Yang, everybody could be earning money right now, hanging out in Central Park, doing nothing. I mean, they deserve a minimum basic income for doing nothing or doing crime. All of these things deserve to be paid. How do these horses look? I can't tell if a horse looks happy or sad, but I guess his head hanging down doesn't seem too enthusiastic. Now, wait a minute. I better go out this way. I don't know where that music is coming from. There's a horse on the sidewalk. That's kind of rare to see. I think he just pissed. Yeah, it stinks over here. Oh, God. Sounds louder than 7 decibels. But, you know, at this point, you can beat somebody up and the cops won't do anything. So broadcasting music beyond 7 decibels beyond ambient doesn't seem to bother them. Qual es el próximo paso? I don't know exactly what that means. Somebody watching will know. Many people watching will know. Now, somebody had a giant inflatable baby Trump over here the other day. I guess because the Trump International Hotel is over there. I don't know if it's still there. I guess they probably just had it out for one day and it's gone. But we'll see. Essex House Hotel. I mean, that is a giant hotel. It's got to be doing kind of no business, I would think. Seems like there's a lot of horses out today. I mean, I think it's annoying for the horses. They have those blinders on all day, and I guess anytime you make an animal work, I don't know if it really likes that. Wouldn't the horse rather just be hanging out, eating grass, running around the park? So here's the Time Warner Center. CNN is in there, spewing out their crap. So it's, even if you liked Trump, they want to re-educate you. You're not allowed to, participate in society or Twitter or YouTube or any of that. Facebook. I guess it's starting to feel like it could snow. I haven't heard too much about this Arctic, what's it called? Polar vortex. I mean, a little bit. And then, people were sending me emails the other day when Pakistan had the huge power outage, saying that power outage is coming here. Polar vortex. A lot of people have predictions. Just don't know. Let's see, do we see a baby Trump inflated anywhere? Sounds like Jimi Hendrix. I don't see the baby Trump. So I guess maybe it's no longer hanging around. Wow, now wait a minute. The New York Attorney General sues the NYPD for what they've described as excessive, brutal, and unlawful handling of George Floyd protests. Well, okay, so now we see why the NYPD doesn't want to do anything, because the Attorney General is going to sue them. Wow. Wow. So basically, these guys burned up police cars, destroyed the city, marched down the streets with a militarized gang, and the cops get sued. Well, of course they're not going to do anything. That's just idiotic. Why did they decide to make Letitia James the Attorney General? We got big problems, and they're not getting better anytime soon. When we have attorneys general suing the police for enforcing the law. What is that girl wearing? She's got her bike helmet, she's got her yellow jacket, she's got that smiley face on the back. She's running. What is she up to? Yellow vest movement? What the hell was that thing on the back? There's a Whole Foods in there, so there's no longer lines. That's interesting. I mean, it hasn't been for a while, but... So I guess with a lawsuit against the NYPD for enforcing the law, that only encourages them to discontinue enforcing the law. all the more reason New York is falling apart. So we're heading west here. Shops at Columbus Circle, totally empty. This is like a super fancy mall in there that's usually packed. We've been by here before. I guess that's a fancy apartment building in there. That's the entrance to it. Sushi Damo. I'm not familiar with that.
Seriously?
So, Javits Center, I'm on 9th and where am I right now? We'll find out in a moment. I guess 9th and 58th or something? 59th? Haven't really been over here, so this will be interesting to check out what's going on. Yeah. This deli, I guess it's open, but it doesn't look too open. Infrastructure upgrades along 9th Avenue. This mess is brought to you by NYC Department of Design and Construction. More like the Department of Destruction. Wow. That guy just walked right up to the garbage can and started rifling through it. That's a very sad circumstance, and it can't be healthy, particularly during a pandemic, to be sticking your hands into the garbage. I mean, I can only imagine he's looking for food. Oh, well, if only the city could do something to actually... Well, I should have gone down 9th further, actually, but... All right, let's just see what's going on here down 10th Ave. I think people were pretty disappointed to see what Twitter and Amazon and Apple did to Parler and Google. But there's really been no, that was sort of one day worth of news. I don't know if they're actually doing anything about it. They're just sort of like, eh. So there's that. Yeah, this is a part of town I don't really come to very often. Huh, look at those satellites up on the roof there on the left. Yeah, look at that. It's almost 50 degrees. It's really unusual for January. CBS over there. Looks closed. Got another hot house restaurant coming up. But it's closed. Or it seems to be empty. No, there's people in it. Very few. Just like 4 people in that whole thing. Who knows what this is? 811 10th Avenue? Oh, it's AT&T. Why do all their buildings have no windows?
Oh, I still felt about it.
That's interesting, right? It's kind of surprising to me that AT&T would have a big facility like this in New York City. I mean, maybe there's a technical reason why they need it here, but wouldn't it be less expensive to put this just across the river in New Jersey. I mean, maybe it's been here forever. But it's AT&T. A lot of Spanish signs about coronavirus. A lot of empty parks on a day when kids probably should be playing. No basketball games today. Why is that closed? I guess this place is getting ready to build its hothouse. Well, it seems like more businesses are in business up here. Have we met Charles's challenge of finding a block where there isn't a business that's out of business? Maybe. It looks like every business is in business on this block. Well, congratulations. There we go, 51st Street. Well, 10th Avenue between 51st and 52nd has been spared the economic strife of the pandemic, but they are getting more fiber optic from Verizon. And then here it looks like we've got some stuff out of business. And there it looks like we've got some stuff out of business. And here's another branch of the New York Public Library that I didn't know about. Edible Arrangement seems to have gone out of business across the street. No, maybe not. Could still be there. As is, as was. That's a cute dog. See, that's nice. People, you just walk down the street with their dog and you meet somebody else with a dog, you have a little conversation. This place is closed, this place is closed. Oh no, Bright Dental, not closed. Vegan gelato. Got MTA police there. It's funny, there's a lot of places that have built their outdoor things. I mean, I guess they built them and then they went out. I wonder if there's a market for secondhand outdoor restaurant structures. Bar for sale. I don't know if now is the best time to buy a bar on 10th Avenue. Whoa. Wait a minute now. Take this in a second. I mean, that looks like something that you'd see on the side of the road in Caracas. Mexican, Peruvian. What a wreck. This is a pretty sketch corner here. I'm gonna cross the street. See, a lot of graffiti has that swirl symbol in it. Whoops. I guess the bar is called Hardware. Nobody drinking in it though. Nobody drinking in these outdoor little cafes. Getting eyeballed right there by that girl who put her mask on when she saw the camera. Some of this construction is quite impressive. I mean, these guys have built their own little restaurant right there. This actually looks even bigger than the one they have in the store. Taxi dispatch office, medallions for sale. All right, so we're getting closer to the Javits here. I can't remember what they were. There was some operation, something or other, that the people at the Javits Center, the Army guys, had a badge for that they kind of like didn't want us to see. Or I remember Lincoln Kareem had some close-ups of, I guess, Operation Gotham or something like that. Gotham Shield. I forget what it was. It doesn't seem like that really ever yielded any shocking. It smells good over here. Famous wings. Scruffy's Buffet and Ann's, Hellcat Ann's Bar Room. So this is an interesting part of town. This is like taxi repairs and tire stores. And I guess if you want used tires or repaired tires, this is your spot. Or perhaps if you wanted to pour gasoline on tires and light them on fire, this is someplace you'd come. It's surprising that I guess they're chained up there, but it seems like there's a bunch of tires that people could do mischief with. And from talking to Jimmy and Joanne and seeing their videos from Libya, burning tires is a thing. I forget why they do that. I think it just makes a ton of smoke and a mess, and it pollutes the crap out of stuff and makes it toxic, whatever. Are you guys moving out of New York because it's becoming crazy?
No.
Oh, they're loading up their Jeep. Oh yeah, CC Rentals. We used to rent trucks from that to do shoots. So this is kind of a part of town that really a lot of people just don't come to very often. Hell's Kitchen Pet. Veritas Studio Wines. I have to say, I don't think I've ever been on this exact street before. Wow, it looks like they got a lot of wine in there. Something to do with film reels.
Well, did you have the virus when you were in there? Yeah.
That guy says he had the virus. Looks like he's still alive, and he didn't look like the healthiest guy in the world to me. Remember Alan Dershowitz's theory that even if you were genetically immune, he wants you to get the vaccine so that you won't give the virus to somebody else. But it just literally doesn't make sense. He's coming up with hypothetical scenarios that have nothing to do with medical reality. And I mean, I guess that works when he's in a Harvard law lecture hall where he controls the reality. But I really object to Alan Dershowitz and pretty much everything he's said and done in the past year. And well beyond that, he's a good example of a guy who I was really kind of giving the benefit of innocent until proven guilty. But, I mean, he's blatantly lied about things he said to me, things he said about me. So, I mean, I've got all the evidence and proof I need of that. Now we're getting to kind of the area of the West Side where they've started to, like, make it new and put in, you know, crazy, gigantic new buildings, and getting to Hudson Yards and stuff. So that says 36,000 square feet for lease. Single tenant private building, high ceilings and roof deck. I guess they want some remarkable club to go in there. I mean, what would you do with that? Particularly now. Wow, this looks fancy. I've never been in there. This can be your market. Come live upstairs. Gotham Market. Super empty. All this new stuff around here is all basically empty. But that looks like you could have a crazy outdoor deck if you're rich. Giant UPS shipping center there. So, all right, let's see, where are we here? 40. I want to head west soon. The Javits is going to be over there. Another cop in his car, sitting looking at the phone, not paying attention. The learning experience is coming soon. Then we got a giant Volvo dealership right there. Or I guess it's a Volvo dealership. There's a kid on his bike with no parents around. Yeah, so it's a lot of new apartment buildings and stuff coming in here. I don't know what Sky Space is, but that's it. Wow, this dog looks like it's ready to eat somebody. That's the kind of dog you need to not get messed with. What was that, a Mastiff or some kind of giant, something with a B? What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But now wait a minute, where is the Javits Center? Is it on 10th Avenue? Getting a little bit confused here. It's all the way on the west side, right? Maybe it's I think it might be right down there. Yeah, Javits Vax parking. Look at that. Appointment only. Javits Vax. So the Jacob Javits Center is getting all kinds of lucrative contracts during this time that people's privately owned businesses are going out. There's more moving trucks. Curious to know how much money the Javits Center has been paid throughout this thing. I think it's just on the other side of this bus depot if my people can compare this to some of the videos I was making last spring and summer as far as how many cars are around and the level of construction of this. Remember, that whole little Hudson Yards is where the special response group cops, you know, I ran into them at that time when it was like, where the hell are all the cops? They were really doing nothing. Oh yeah, did we talk about how NYPD Commissioner Dermot Shea was diagnosed with coronavirus? That's like the bus driver lunchroom or something there. Yeah, Dermot Shea, coronavirus, which I thought was interesting because they're saying that, you know, 74% of all transmission is occurring at home. So I wonder, maybe Shea has been hanging out at home doing nothing. That would make sense. And that would explain perhaps why he got it. Why do you need the Javits Center to vaccinate people? Why can't they do it through those city MD places and hospitals? And of course, there's this big Javits construction project. You know, I wonder, it strikes me as one of these places that's probably getting all kinds of money and tax breaks and things like that from the city because they're ostensibly, you know, bringing in business here. It does say New York State of Opportunity. So New York is being reimagined and rejuvenated with 500,000 square feet of contiguous exhibition space and state-of-the-art meeting rooms that will boost the local economy. The Javits Center expansion being built by New York for New York. So what does that mean? Is the city paying? Is the state paying to expand the Javits Center? What is all that? That's interesting. What are they planting up there? Is that food for somebody? Largest event space in the Northeast. Javits Center expansion project. Andrew Cuomo. See, people maybe can dig into figuring out what the hell is going on between the Javits Center and Andrew Cuomo. Because it seems like a lot of crap has been happening here that funnels federal money to it. That something smells not right about. Right, and they renamed this thing the Mario M. Cuomo Bridge, or they're planning on building it or whatever. I think that was maybe the Kosciuszko Bridge, and they renamed it. Look at those Verizon Fios trucks. It's like a Verizon Fios RV. So here we are at the Javits Center. And then what do we got here? What are these vehicles? Let's just scope this for a minute. State Fire seems to say on those trucks. And here's the Army again. Why do we need the Army to give people vaccines? Looks like a lot of cops up there. Cops, Army. I bet, are they afraid that people are gonna like bust the place down to get the vaccine? Got the news across the street there. Is that the gorillas? What is that? Now wait a minute. Street art against hate. To live and let live. Street art against hate. So there's somebody going in to get a vaccine. And why is that guy getting a vaccine? Maybe he's a first responder or something. COVID-19 Vaccination Center. ADA access only? Is that the American Dental Association? No personal belongings. No food or drink. And so this is the counterterrorism police who are here, which I guess they're expecting terrorism or they wouldn't be here. Huh. Well, that's a lot more people than we saw in there the last time I was here. Was that a guy who just got vaccinated?
He's going to get vaccinated.
Oh, we should do a before and after. He's alive right now.
Yeah, he's Do you work for Stringer too?
For what?
Who do you work for?
Just myself, my own YouTube channel.
Oh, you do? Oh, cool. Wow. Okay.
Who do you work for, did you say?
It's called Stringer.
What is that?
It's an organization that hires people like me or people like you
To be a stringer
to
for
be a
news
stringer,
agencies.
And it comes on an app and it tells you, go down to Javits
Oh, wow.
Center, and it tells, or whatever, go to a shooting, go to a this, go to a that, and then you just take shots.
What do you think about this vaccine? Are you going to get one?
I want to get one.
You do want to get one?
Yeah.
But they won't let you in. That guy looked pretty
I
young.
think he's young because he's an administrator at a school. There's some young people who are getting it. And a woman got it bringing her mother, who was 92, and she was young, and she got it.
Well, this guy looks pretty young. Why is he getting it?
They're probably teachers.
Teachers.
Yeah, I know.
Huh.
That's it. That's what I'm thinking. That's what
Thanks.
you're telling me. All right, take care.
So people really want it. at that hat. Is that state police? More Verizon RVs. Vax rideshare pickup zone. Jeez. Look at all these signs. They love the Vax, the Javits Center, Vax Center. They love it. Look at that guy over there. Waiting for a bus? Seems a little weird. I don't know who the hell is going to live in all these new buildings. Everybody's moving out. Now, doesn't that kind of look like the Freedom Tower? Sort of similar construction, design or whatever. Yeah, this right here is where I ran into those cops over the summer or back in the spring or whatever that was. Let's see what's going on in here. This is a pretty weird little plaza. It's got some creepy sculptures in it and stuff. I think this is the one. Maybe not. I'm not seeing the creepy sculptures. Might have been one block, one way or the other. Nobody up in that wedge. The wedge? The verge? What is that thing called? Right, and we have this like sleeping gorilla or whatever this is. King Niani. Gorilla is a majestic animal. That's a funny thing to say. Warner Media. Huh. 30 Hudson Yards. Yeah, I mean, we see people walking around in shorts. It's like twice the temperature it should be right now. It could be 20. That would be kind of normal. It's almost 50. And here, getting towards the end of the day. Well, interesting to see what's going on there at the Javits Center. Counterterrorism. Why is the West Side so heavily patrolled by counterterrorism police? Wow, that's as empty as I've ever seen a Whole Foods be. Taking this outside, Equinox in the wild. So what is going on here? Equinox is building some outdoor gym. That makes sense. I mean, they're a big chain, so they have the money to do something like that. I know a lot of gyms have basically just gone out of business. I guess if they're doing this now, if it gets done in March or April in time for spring, it'll make sense. That's nice. Is this mess brought to you by the New York Destruction Company as well? Or is it brought to you by Wells Fargo? Another U-Haul over there. It's been quite a walk here. I don't want to head under there. Another Verizon truck. This is like the post office depot or something under here. This person's about to make a right on red, which you're not allowed to do in New York City. And then we have this. That's fancy people living in that thing. Apartment building on the High Line. It looks like it's from the Jetsons. I mean, again, it's been like 50 degrees all day and there's just nobody on that baseball field. Hardly. Nobody playing soccer. Football, sorry. International people. I mean, we're here in a virtually abandoned New York City. Yeah, so I mentioned earlier that I am starting to make arrangements to leave. It's just become too dangerous. The police come right out. Hello? The police have just come right out and said they're not going to protect you. I mean, that's been obvious for months. I mean, it's been obvious for a real long time, but I guess I could live with the feeling that they're not going to protect me as long as they're sort of protecting everybody else in general and, you know, kind of dissuading criminals from doing crime. But if they're not going to protect anyone, that creates this incredibly emboldened population of criminals and, you know, people who might be prone to mischief who graduate to criminality. But Shay's got coronavirus. I think he'll be fine. Dermot. There's just a ton of graffiti here. This is new. You know, no one is... There's just no semblance of rule of law. I think that church usually has a soup kitchen on the weekends, and there's a huge line wrapped around. That looks like there's actually people dropping off items or something, maybe like a clothing drive or a food drive or something. Oh yeah, no, it might be happening right now. Yeah, food drive over there. Right, this is what I wanted to look at last time I was over here. This is a crazy building.
Go and break it. Thank you.
Camera's not pointing at you.
Go grab it and record your daughter and see how you will feel.
It's not pointed at you. You're drawing attention to yourself. I'm not even looking at you.
No problem.
So this is the Department of Health here. This is the City Department of Mental Health, because it's an appropriate place for that guy to be. Notice the address. Yes, the City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, which is such a weird name for it. Dr. Leona Baumgartner Center. And then we have that. I mean, why aren't people objecting to that? We have a Native American and a pilgrim with an eagle there. I don't know what's going on there. But we got a bunch of, you know, jackasses who think they have a right to privacy out in public and want to give me the finger. Did you hear what he just said? That's a hateful jerk. Stay off the street if you don't want to be photographed. Whatever it is that they're protesting or advocating, that guy should go to hell. By the way, this is PS 33. Public school. Equity and excellence for all. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not even dealing with that guy. He's out in public. He's thinking he's got the right to curse me out and call me a gringo, which is, you know, that's the same thing as me calling him something offensive. But whatever, I don't care. That guy's a dope. He can do whatever he wants. The hypocrisy, the double standard, it's just not going to stand. You know, whoever it is that's driving this, that is involved in thinking this is a good idea, and Joe Biden appointing all of these people who are so focused on, they say equity, but it's not about equity, it's about revenge. And, you know, even if they've never met me and I've never actually done anything to them, I'm somebody that they feel they can, you know, take their frustration out on. And I think we know why they feel that.
Hi.
How you doing? I don't mind that, saying hi, being friendly or funny or polite. And they weren't wearing masks, so perhaps they're thinking along that. See, that was the first thing that I thought when I saw them. Oh, they're not wearing masks. And then she said hello, and I was like, maybe that's a nice person. So I don't know if that guy's actual cop or just some kind of, can we see him? It's behind the bush. There he is. Security for the building. This is like government subsidized housing, so maybe the security guards are somehow, I don't know, city workers, cops.
Yeah, they gotta get a better phone track, better.
Bro, I think they did that on purpose.
I do think we do need to be somewhat in a state of, well, mindfulness, I'll say. I think
That's interesting. That guy was saying they took the masks way too far. These guys are playing basketball, so that's good to see people having at least some fun. But that's not really a lot of people playing basketball, you would think, given the weather. Usually would people be out until the sun goes down, or maybe even after if lights come on. Another Verizon truck. I don't necessarily know what any of this means, I'm just pointing it out. It's just a really large number of Verizon trucks that we've seen since the beginning of March. This is like a mini backhoe. So kind of back in my neighborhood now, where I'm pretty familiar with the level of business closures. Yeah, I'm glad I stopped by that Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. I can't remember if I've been by there before. I've been by there without the camera. Oh, wow. Marjorie Taylor Greene just DM'd me. She says, keep up the fight. That is great. I connected with her on Twitter.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And for people who aren't yet familiar with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's my new hero in Congress. This is the freshman congressional rep, Republican from Georgia, who has vowed to introduce articles of impeachment against Joe Biden, the first valid presidential impeachment in 4 years. So that's good. I absolutely support her. I love it that she just wrote back. Maybe we could get her on the show. That would be exciting.
You know what? Never mind. Because I mean, you like
Well, I think that's about it for today's visit to the Javits Center Vax Center. Vax distribution, whatever the hell they're calling it. But thanks for watching, everybody. Please become a sponsor on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. Help me keep the show going. I think what I might do is just, I don't know where I'm going to live. I mean, I might just go on a big nationwide road trip and kind of like figure out what's going to happen next. We've got more uncertainty, I think, right now than ever before in my life. So I just feel very uncertain. But it's just become so unpleasant and unsafe here in New York. I just don't really think I can stay. That's a cute little dog. All right, everybody, have a nice night.